Okay, we're going to be mixing a 2K filler primer to put on our body filler and some of the metal pieces that are showing. This is a DTM primer, which is a direct to metal, okay? And we're just going to mix it up because we haven't used it in a few weeks. So you're just going to make sure you have a good consistency here before you add your activator in it. Okay, I'm going to be shooting it out of the Atom X27 spray gun, low volume, low pressure, with a 1.4 tip. And when spraying out of a 1.3 or 1.4 tip, you want to make sure to reduce it about 10%, so this way it can flow out easier.
So thanks for watching this video. Before we continue, don't forget to head out to LearnAutoBodyAndPaint.com by clicking the card at the top right of the video or down below in the description to get some free auto body and paint training.
This is a 4-to-1 mixture, so we're going to look at 4-to-1 here. Plus 10% or 20%, it's up to you. So we're going to do the 4-to-1. Probably not going to use all of it, but we'll make a little extra. So I'm going to go up to the number 4. Reducer.
Yup, so be sure to wear gloves, and when you're mixing it, you're going to notice the top is very thin and then the bottom's going to be very thick. So just keep mixing until you get an even consistency. It's going to be a few minutes of mixing usually, and then you can let your primer sit for about 10 minutes or so before you start painting, because there is a set time after mixing. We're also going to pull out the filter because normally you don't need filters when spraying a 2K filler primer. Sometimes it just slows up the flow. Alright, so I'm just going to jump in here and just tell you a few common problems. So sometimes people, they're going to say, you know, my primer is spraying on really dry and it looks sandy. Okay, so if your primer is spraying on really dry looking, I'm intentionally putting it on a little light here because I just want to make sure I just cover one time. You know what I mean? I'm going to go over it a few times here and then just cover the metal. But when it's coming out sandy and dry, it means you're spraying at too much of a lower air pressure, or your material is way too thick. And it could also be a combination of both, thick material and low pressure. So if you're having that issue, reduce your primer down a little bit and make sure you're spraying in the range of, 18 to 22, 23 psi max. But normally with primer, you're looking for coverage and fill, not the most super fine atomization. So you're normally spraying at about, 18 to 22 pounds. Okay, full fluid flow. You can see it's going on pretty wet here. You can see the gloss, right? And we're just going to cover it. The goal here is to fill all of our sand scratches. Okay, fill the pinholes. Sometimes you're going to miss filling the pinholes, like it's just not enough primer to fill it. So that's when you put your glaze putty. And we're going to be doing that also after this primer step. And you can see that I primed that rock chip right there, right? I knew that I wasn't going to cover, but I primed it anyway, so it gives me a foundation to put my glaze putty in. You know what I mean? We're priming all the plastic here. The raw plastic, because we're going to be painting all the plastic on the van the same color as the van. So these handles are going to be white. The bumper covers are going to be black. The bumpers are going to be black. What else did we? The mirrors are going to be black. Those are plastic mirrors that we had. Those are just going to be black. So the paint job is going to come on really cool. Everything laid on really nice. We're just priming up some of the plastic. Now some people ask, hey Tony, do I need to prime the plastic or can I just put adhesion promoter? You could do either or you could do both. Okay, it depends on how you want the finish to come up. If you're looking for a quick paint job and you don't care about the paint texture, right? Like if we look at this back bumper plastic, it has a paint, there's a plastic texture to it, right? So if you want to fill it and get it looking like glass like the rest of the body, then you can fill it with a 2K filler primer, Okay, scuff it, sand it with like you know, a 320 grit, give or take. You just want to scuff it up. Okay, you don't want to go too rough with 80 grit because you're gonna be, it's just gonna be too much. Okay, you're gonna be cutting the plastic up. It's gonna get all rough looking. Okay, and then the goal is to fill up the plastic texture with your 2K filler primer, and then when you sand it and cut it down, you basically remove it. And we talk about that more in this video. We actually show you all the steps. But here I'm just priming the bumper just because we had, and because I wanted, the bumper's going to be black, gloss black single stage, and I wanted it to come out really nice. So that's why we sprayed the bumpers.
And when I'm saying day 3, it's pretty much, you know, 2 to 4 hours a day. Today I put a good 4 hours in. We got everything primed up. Whole van is sanded, including the roof. The patch on the top is sanded. Everything, not sanded, primed plastic here. Holes are filled. Okay, we got a little bit of pinholing here, not too bad. We're just gonna fill that with a little glaze putty, hit it flat with probably a 400 grit. Okay, it's pretty much ready to go. Again, this is a quickie paint job, nothing crazy. We touched up our metal that was showing in here. Okay, I used low pressure, as you saw. I was spraying this. We got a little bit of overspray on glass. Not a big deal because we're gonna be we could razor blade the glass when it's done. Okay, so this stuff like this comes out super easy. It's not a huge deal. I just didn't have the patience to go taping everything up, so you know, it is what it is. We primed up our plastic. Okay,